Man, these tethers are really trying hard to pull off a cultural jack move. And they always do it with the compliance of homegrown Negroes. We know that Joe Fat, whatever his name is connected to Rock Nation. And every time minimally talented Fat Joe puts his foot in his mouth, he always gets a saving grace and a saving line, only to keep perpetuating the BS. And this hip hop museum, Rock Nation, these players, they're the ones who are behind, in my opinion, from my point of view, allegedly, this reclassification of Black American hip hop into a Jamaica thing. The Hip Hop History Museum in New York, the one that's specifically tied to suspected child molester Africa Bambaataa, people who tend to work with Rock Nation, and a bunch of Tethers and Negro accomplices that are trying to reshape and reframe the history. So we're going to get into that in a few minutes. I'm going to let a few more of y'all come up in here. We're going to get started with the show, with the content of the show, probably in about 5 more minutes. Just letting y'all know who be like, he don't jump right to it. I'm letting more people come up in here for about 5 more minutes. And then we're going to jump into the meat of this conversation. And what we're going to do is we're going to play the segment from the Joe and Jadakiss podcast where Montana French, whatever his name is, that goofy, and Max B, I think that's the dude that just got out of jail. I was never too much interested in Max B. So when everybody talking about some Max B coming home, I'm not one that gave a fuck. And then Perpetual Tether, legendary producer, Pete Rock. Yeah, he's a legendary producer. But what makes Pete Rock a legend? Is it the music that he created? Or is it the music that he sampled? And who did he sample that music from? That's all stuff we're going to get into. In the meantime, I want to say welcome, chat room. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for joining. We're going to get started in a couple minutes. I'm glad I got to start on time today because I'm dealing with some issue with one of my tenants. I swear to God, some of these tenants, boy. Do y'all know that somebody applied to my apartment building in Crip? Yeah. I had a vacancy, and then the people, I showed the unit to somebody, and they was all cool. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to email you the application and credit check. Text me your email address. And when they text me the email address was Blick 187. BLICC. And that got me wondering, should I offer this apartment to these people? The credit was good, the job is good, but do I want to collect rent from a nigga named Blick 187? What if he late? You got to consider this stuff when you're an apartment manager. I don't necessarily want to. Hopefully, it don't get to this point. Hopefully, it don't, and I very rarely have to do it. But the last thing I want to do as a manager is serve an eviction notice to somebody whose name is Blick 187. And I'm like, yeah. And I told them, okay, yeah, I ain't take that many applications. Now I'm trying to figure out how do I turn down Blick 187. And worst part about it is, my apartment is in a hood. So it's very likely one day when I go pick up the rent, They could be having a gang meeting at the apartment down the street. And what is Blink 187 gonna do when they see me going to get the apartment and go to pick up rent, but I chose somebody else? So now I'm in a real situation. Do Blink 187 get the apartment, or do I let them down easy and be susceptible to what may come my way because Blink 187 wanted an apartment in the middle of their hood? These are things you got to consider as an apartment manager. You did, man. Because I had this situation before one of my other buildings. I had this dude that was from that was that he was a lowrider and he banged, and I knew it was an issue when I went inside. I went and did our yearly inspection. I went and did my yearly inspection, and this dude had a wall lined up with red Chucks. Like, I think that was the only shoe that he had. This cat had 17 pair of red Chucks, and then some dress shoes for like. Was those the job interview shoes that you got? How you got 17 Chucks, pair of Chucks lined up in a pair of church shoes? Man, it was crazy having that cat in my apartment. He was late on rent one time, and I went to him like, "Hey, yo, man, when you gonna pay?" He was like, "Uh, I pay, I I pay when I ban." I was like, "I pay when I ban. I pay when I ban." Oh, he's speaking in blood. I'll pay when I can. God. So my question is, do I want to live this again? That's the question I'm living. I don't know. I'll decide. I'll see what's up. This dude's got a name. His name is Dr. Umar Zapuki. Appreciate the super chat from Dr. Umar Zapuki. Yeah, so I don't know, y'all. I'm gonna see what's up. I'm gonna see what's up. Do I rent out the super crypt or no? You know, because I'm just the manager. I ain't security. I ain't the police. So we'll see. I'll give you guys a play by play as the world progresses. But with that being said, welcome everybody. We about to get into this tether cultural jack move that Fat Joe, Jada, chat room, is Jada FBA? I remember it was a question one time. A lot of us thought he was, but some of y'all said that he wasn't. And it's Max B. We know French Montana Joe and Pete Rock are from other places. What's up, Easy Eye? What's up, Shayla? What's up, everybody? Cool Keezy, Hula Gang, Donna C. Welcome all y'all for joining. So, see, I'm getting two. I'm getting one. Spirit One said he is FBA. Infinite One said he's not. Okay, he is. I figured Jadakiss, the way Jadakiss rap, I was sure he's FBA. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure that my thesis stays in line. Usually there is an FBA Negro that's going to aid and assist the tether with their tethering. And the only reason why the tether gets to tether is because usually there's going to be an FBA Negro sitting right there going, yep, 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 yep. We are so at a point in our time in history to where we have such low self-esteem as Black Americans. We really do. Now it's not as bad as some places that uses skin bleaching. Our overall collective confidence isn't that low. It's not low enough to bleach here in America. But it is low enough to where a lot too many of us are always looking for a friend, always looking for a validation. Don't have the strength or the knowledge of self to stand on culture. And nobody, no group, nothing respects someone who doesn't respect themselves, their family, or their culture. Nobody from other cultures respect people that don't respect their own culture. They'll dance with you. They'll make money with you, but they don't respect you. And the minute you are no longer connected to the spotlight, the minute you lost whatever thing or zing that initially attracted you to people, you'll then see these tether type people go and fade away. So let's break this down. Because hip hop is, like I've said before, probably the lowest form of music that we've created, especially over the last 25 years. You know, good hip hop basically stopped by the mid 90s. I know a lot of these niggas like bringing into the 2000s. No, 2000s still had good rap, but 2000s also had an extreme amount of goofy too. So let's watch. Let's listen to what they're saying. Now, mind you, Pete Rock, this is his Twitter, and this is what he wrote. We're gonna go into what he wrote, but in response to what was said. Let's go.
A G a week?
It was good. Huh?
Shout to Jamaica.
We was caking up with a G a week.
Found that was somebody Jamaican who started hip hop. That's crazy. Shout to Jamaica.
Oh, you didn't know that?
Nah.
Who hurt?
Yeah. I didn't even know he was Jamaican though. So shout to.
So first off, you got some. What is French Montana? What is he like, Moroccan or something like that? What is he like, Moroccan or something like that? This dude. So you got this dude that's in the hit. Mind you, French Montana came up at a time long after the quality of rap music has declined. He doesn't have enough respect for the music to understand where it comes from. But I can't all the way blame him because it's the Black American rap artist that started this shit. All of this hip hop Jamaican stuff can be ended if two prominent Black rappers had the nuts to step up and challenge Pete Rock, challenge Fat Joe, and challenge anybody that extends hip hop cultural roots to anything outside of Black America. All we need is two, maybe three rappers, prominent rappers. Prominent. I mean, rappers that when they talk, people listen. Those level. And we got plenty of them. We got plenty of them. If just three rappers had the balls to stand up for Black America, we wouldn't be dealing with any of this. This is why I don't respect today's rappers. None of these niggas. I got respect for Cube. Cube is always teaching the history. And Cube don't be talking no Cool Herc shit either. If you go to a Cube concert, he's going to have a crowd full of Mexicans, but it's going to be a very pro-Black conversation between songs. I know because I've been there. But Cube isn't one that goes on these interview podcasts like that. But Cube understands the history. Outside of Ice Cube, you get KRS-One lying, telling half-truths. You get Grandmaster Flash telling half-truths. And a half-truth is a whole lie. Don't none of these rappers have nuts. I said it. What you gonna do? Fight me? You definitely ain't gonna test me in the battle of wits because you'll lose. Cake ass niggas. That's why I respect the jazz guys. The hardest cats in music are the jazz musicians. Oh, Dewan, what do you mean? The jazz musicians will tell you the history and they don't rely on samples from the past. Robert Glasper, Terrace Martin, Kamasi Washington, Herbie Hancock, Wynton Marsalis, Miles Davis, Dizzy Gillespie. All of these people, when you listen to them, listen to music like albums like To Be, read his books like To Be or Not to Bop. This man taught the world music, but he don't compromise and be like, well, now, because we did this and because, you know. And to this day, it's the jazz musicians. I saw a documentary with Robert Glasper on it about jazz, and he was very clear. He was like, they say white jazz is white, and then this culture and that culture came. Robert Glasper was like, no, it's black music. And what you gonna do? Well, I got a cash app. Who gave me a cash app? Unique Organic Hair. I appreciate the cash app. Mm. It's the jazz guys. And the cool thing about the jazz guys, the thing about it is they're the least reliant on the past of all of the music that's being created today. Because everything today, for the most part, is still sample based. Hip hop is so reliant on the past, but it refuses to speak up for the past. A whole bunch of rat bastards in hip hop studying sampling all that history, but taking no time to learn the history. A whole bunch of nutless rat bastards. Respect to jazz. These cats are still innovating, still pushing forward, still moving the sound forward. Man, I was at Blue Note. I was at Blue Note the other night. Y'all know me, I be at Blue Note a lot. That's my spot. That is my spot. I was at Blue Note the other night and listening. See, millennials, that's an extra strings. Millennials, man, millennials and Gen Z, I stand up for Gen Z all day, every day over you at Gen X niggas. The millennials are into the jazz, man. No, not that. This is we still doing it. These is millennial Gen Z niggas. Watch them put on a bow. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Watch this. We still doing it.
Yeah, come on now, come on now.
It's time to get away from these hip hop niggas. They don't know shit. And they just recycling shit. And this is the part, because I saw the video, but it was this. What Pete Rock said. Again, Pete Rock is a resident He's somebody we really like. We really gotta take the gloves off for. We gotta take the gloves off on Pete Rock. Cause I've had my back and forth with Pete Rock on Twitter. I've educated Pete Rock. I've sunned him in the education department already when it comes to the history of our music. But he still wants to keep this. Jamaican roots created hip hop. The untold truth about the founding father. You see how I went from founding fathers to father? You forgot the S, homeboy. Did you know Jamaican is the founding father of hip hop? From Kingston to the Bronx, this culture shifting story changed music forever. Learn how Jamaican sound system culture laid the foundation for today's global hip hop movement. Jamaican sound system culture. Jamaican sound system culture. Jamaica was a third world country in the 1960s and 70s. It had American speakers from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Jamaican sound systems was consisted of American sound systems of 30 years ago because they couldn't afford the newest technology. Watch now, share the history, and put respect on Jamaican culture. You see how these people lie? You see how they just cut off Disco King Mario? You see how he cut off all the black American DJs from Frankie Crocker to Jocko Henderson? These people who introduced rapping over the beat on radio, the people who introduced DJing. That's what Pete Rock just did. Pete Rock is the same person that calls himself Soul Brother. He calls himself Soul Brother. After James Brown. They keep going to Kool Herc. Where is that? Here it is. Listen to Kool Herc.
To dance, I was part of being the graffiti artist, and I stopped. And I love music. I love to dance. I was part of being the graffiti artist, and I stopped doing it. And my love of music, and see the kids appreciate it. And James Brown is a big inspiration to me. I love James Brown.
James Brown. Heard that?
Part of being the graffiti artist, and I stopped doing it, and my love of music, and see the kids appreciate it. And James Brown is a big inspiration to me. I love James Brown. Hip hop is a spin-off of James Brown. Also,
hip hop is a spin-off of James Brown. Hip hop is a spin-off of James Brown. Hip hop is a spin-off of James Brown. And this is how we can prove it. Before James Brown, and again, all of these playlists that I'm playing from right here, they're on Spotify. Is my camera frozen, y'all? Let me know if my camera's frozen. It looks frozen on my end. Whatever. If y'all can hear me, it's all good. Let's listen to how music sounded before James Brown put it on the one. Let's go to my, not that playlist. I'm going to go to my other playlist. My camera's frozen. I don't know why my shit frozen, but you can hear me? Well, if you can hear me, that's good enough. Let's listen to music before James Brown. This is the beat before James Brown. That's the beat before James Brown. Before James Brown, this is the beat.
You will see the things I am saying are
Beautiful, melodic, but nothing you can rap over, you know? Before James Brown, again, good music, but you can rap over it, but rap won't really sound right, you know, over. You know, this is what it sounds like before James Brown. Even James Brown before he laid it on the one. Even James Brown before he laid it on the one. Where's my James Brown in here? Let me see. That's pre-James Brown sound. That's the pre-James Brown sound. Although rap existed, because you heard rap through artists like Louis, the godfather of R&B is Louis Jordan. And Louis Jordan rapped. Louis Jordan was a rapper. He's also the godfather of R&B.
to get back in the black. You take a morning paper from the top of the stack and read the situations from the front to the back. The only job that's open needs a man with.
That's the jump blues. That's early R&B. Originally recorded in the 40s, re-recorded in the 50s. I probably heard this song on Malcolm X.
Beans and Cornbread had a fight. Beans knocked Cornbread out of sight. Cornbread said, now that's all right. Meet me on the corner.
That was the sound of the music. And then the reason why James Brown is called the father of hip hop, because when James Brown laid it on the one, he made it sound like this.
Hey, hey. You need someone to love you. I'm the one that.
Hear the difference?
Slow. That don't get it. Come back for more.
James Brown changed the beat. James Brown made the whole beat shift. I'm gonna get to the drum solo from Funky Drummer. Let me see, where is it? Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. This is the most famous drum breakdown in hip hop. Hip hop. That's why James Brown is the father of hip hop. Right there is why James Brown is the father of hip hop. Because before James Brown, music sounded like this.
You better stop. Yeah. Don't.
very bluesy. That's Jackie Wilson, by the way. That's Jackie Wilson. Michael Jackson and James Brown both got a lot of their swag from Jackie Wilson. So pay some respect to Jackie Wilson. Pay some respect to Jackie Wilson. Because that's where both James Brown and Michael Jackson got a lot of their dynamite and their power from. Because Black American music is a lineage of greatness. It went from sounding like that to sounding like this.
Get sexy, get funky, and dance.
Do you see, now do you hear the difference and why James Brown is the father of hip hop? There's a lineage of greatness that got us to hip hop. And hip hop is rooted in those foundations. See, Pete Rock called himself Soul Brother. He called himself Soul Brother. That's James Brown. But he sampled a lot of Donald Byrd, a lot of Roy Ayers, a lot of Mizell Brothers production. Songs like All the Places. Pete Rock is trying to talk about how hip hop, how Jamaican hip hop is, but he won't tell you where he got this sample. Y'all remember this? All the Places with CL Smooth and Pete Rock. Press number 1 if you remember the song.
Real than what is real, so feel I'm sending. Compared to God with no beginning.
Y'all remember that? Well, it was sampled by Donald Byrd, who was teamed with the Mizell Brothers out of LA, produced this song right here.
Places and spaces I've been.
There is no Pete Rock without Mizell Brothers production. And the Mizell Brothers are very little known producers. There's nothing that Kool Herc brought that did not already exist. And furthermore, sound system culture, that's just music culture. Who the fuck came up with sound system culture? What does that even mean? All music uses sound systems. And these sound systems were created in America. Let's pull out some Jamaican sound systems in the 60s. I was on ChatGPT. It said, give me images of Jamaican sound systems in the 1960s. This is Jamaican sound systems in the 1960s. Well, that's the same one. This here is Jamaican sound system. This is the Jamaican sound system culture that he's trying to say Kool Herc brought to America. These are the sound systems. Pretty big, it's basically a hodgepodge of a bunch of different speakers wired in together. Now let's go put in, no. Don't create one, fine. Oh. There we go. Don't create a picture. Let's find one. This is how we do our research. Let's see here. This here. Let me see here. This here is what was going on in America in the 60s. Big ass stadiums filled with sound systems. What sound system culture did he bring? This is Alice Cooper's sound system in 1972. This is what the sound system was doing in America, the United States of America. During the same time, in Jamaica, they was doing some shit like this. The fuck is this dude talking about? Furthermore, when it comes to sound, a person that is underrated, let me see if I don't see any images of Maurice White with Gary Massenberg, because Massenberg sort of stayed behind the scenes. But a person that deserves a lot of credit for both live stage sound and studio sound is Maurice White from Earth, Wind & Fire. Maurice White, when he used to record Earth, Wind & Fire's music, they would take the soundboard, him and Massenberg would literally rewire a brand new soundboard out of the box before Earth, Wind & Fire sessions. So when Earth, Wind & Fire came on at that time, their music always sounded a step above everybody else's music. That's because Maurice White would do a rewire, and all the different sound companies would take credit and just sort of take his innovations and use it without really giving him and Massenberg the credit. Same thing with live stage performances. Earth, Wind & Fire was the first act in music history to bring on pyrotechnics and a magic act at the same time. And these huge, loud sound systems. They would have these huge sound systems. Earth, Wind & Fire used to tour with a 17 truck. They used to tour with 17, count them, 17 18-wheeler trucks that to fit in all of their stage, their sound system, their pyrotechnics. And they always had like songs like this here was a completely different sound when it dropped originally. That's a song called Mighty Mighty. We are the people. We are the mighty, mighty people of the sun. And in our hearts lies all the answers to the truth you can't run from. That song was telling you all about your black consciousness, but I digress. But it was songs like Mighty Mighty when Earth and Fire started to really change how studio sound was engineered. This is where the credit goes. But Pete Rock, although he's somebody who samples all of these people, we got to start looking at Pete Rock like an enemy. Because only an enemy will subvert your culture. And do y'all remember when I covered that Pete Rock interview a couple months ago? In Pete Rock's interview that he had a few months ago that I covered, go back and watch it on the channel. I'm not going to rehash it. But he talked about all of his influences. And none of them niggas was Jamaican. This one right here.
Long time ago. So many.
Let's go back to this interview that Pete Rock did. This is Pete Rock talking about his influences. Earliest artist that he heard.
With jazz and soul. You know, can you play this song again? It went like this, but I didn't know what I heard, but I just know that I liked it. And then it went from there to like, it really started with reggae music first. You know what I'm saying? It was all reggae music. Then he had a various collection of different genres of music. So he would, you know, we lived in the Bronx.
He's talking about his dad's
from
collection.
Jamaica to New York. So when he got to New York, he diversed his record collection.
And to be clear, this is Pete Rock talking about his dad's collection. He said when he was in Jamaica, the majority of the music was reggae. But when he got to New York, he diversified his collection. Now listen to what he says after this.
With jazz and soul and all that stuff. And, you know, he played that stuff. And I remember, you know, certain records. Now that I'm older now, I remember, you know, I had to go back and learn and ask questions. And
Fair use.
Like that. But then now I'm fully aware of what I was listening to.
What was someone that jumped out at you?
Kool and the Gang.
Okay.
Now he listens to the artist that jumped out for him. Now he's mentioning the artist that jumped out for his sound. First artist he mentioned was Kool and the Gang. Not Cooley in the Gang. Kool and the Gang.
You know, James Brown, of course, my favorite artist over everyone.
Yeah.
You know, Brass Construction, Crown Heights Affair.
Yeah.
You know, New York soul groups.
Okay.
You know, the list goes on. I could name so many. Cameo. You know, then you got like the soul dudes like Barry White and Isaac Hayes, and you had Aretha Franklin. You know, you had Denise Williams, Earth, Wind and Fire, Commodores, Brick.
Yeah.
So many, you know, Switch. So many different, like DeBarge. You know what I'm saying? So many different groups. Rick James, Tina Marie.
That's super dope. That's
Yeah,
super dope.
and that you know that raised me. You know what I'm saying?
You just heard it from Pete Rock himself. What music raised him. I didn't say that. He did. Yeah, you right here. Not Kool in the Gang. He wouldn't listen. If Jamaicans inspired him, he would have heard Cooley in the Gang. Yeppa, 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 yeppa. What the fuck they be saying? Wasn't no Cooley in the Gang. Wasn't no. He said the Crown Heights affair, not the Brown Heights affair. The Browns and the Coolies. Those are all black artists. He mentioned Isaac Hayes. I say you don't need not 1 ounce of nothing. And when it comes to West Coast hip hop, West Coast hip hop needs nothing from the East Coast. But it does need Black America. It needs Black American essence. We rap different, we mix different. But going back to him mentioning Isaac Hayes, one of the early raps, before rap, this song that was sampled by a lot of rap artists was also a rap song. When you listen to them rap, this was sampled by. So that beat that Isaac Hayes is rhyming over, since he's such an Isaac Hayes fan, was basically vamped and reused again and became another classic.
Alright.
Born and raised in Compton.
Cause it's the home of the dragons and the cracks. Like Compton. Yeah, that's the name of my hometown. I'm throwing down in the town.
Where is Jamaica in any of this? Chat room. So do you see how disrespectful of black culture you have to be? How this is just corny, Pete Rock. You just corny. I used to look up to this guy. This is corny.
I remember, man, James Brown was one of those first finals I had.
Yep.
Apollo 3,
Yep.
Revolution of the Mind. Man, and then,
with him behind the jail.
Yep. Shaft, Superfly soundtracks, like all that.
James kept it a bean, man.
Yeah.
He
100.
talked about real things, you know.
So you talked about your...
This is me. Those are Pete Rock's words, but read his tweet. What sound system or Jamaican culture plays any part of what he's saying? Are y'all ready for me to go deeper? I wasn't even gonna do this. I wasn't even gonna do this. Where are my albums? No. Here we go. I wasn't even gonna do this, but he has required me to pull out some of the big guns. Let me see here. Let me see here. Where did it go? Hold on. Give me like 30 seconds. I'm about to do something. I'm about to go on another level with y'all. Give me like 30 seconds and we'll be right back. 40, give me like a minute. Alright. Alright. We back. Told y'all it wouldn't take me long. I just had to go ahead and do a quick little Google search because I want to pull this video. Let's talk about the Jamaican roots. Let's talk about the Black American roots of Jamaican culture and music. So what this does is, what I'm about to introduce to you guys is a tether-proof argument. We're going to have a tether-proof argument. And if you're watching later and this part gets cut out, and you be like, oh, what just happened? That's because YouTube did some bullshit and I had to edit it out. But if I have to edit this, if I have to edit, the full version will be over on Patreon. Listen to this.
We start imitating the rhythm and blues songs like say Smiley Lewis or
We started imitating rhythm and blues. This is how ska, rocksteady, and reggae got started. Professor Longhair, Louis Jordan. Did I not just play Louis Jordan for you? Louis Jordan was a song that I played for you earlier, Choo Choo Boogie. He's telling you that's where he got the game from. Listen.
Professor Longhair, Louis Jordan, and those kind of beat. We tried to imitate it. It didn't turn out that way, so we decided to keep this as our own type. That's how that can come in.
Styling like those was really rhythm and blues. What we did to this rhythm and blues is like you'd be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But this kind of we change it to 1, 2, 3. And then it's more 2, 4, 2, 4 instead of 1.
That's the only fucking difference. They did everything that we did. They just changed the accent point. From the downbeat to the upbeat. The chords, the movement, the structure, the instrumentation is all Black American. Jamaican music culture is rooted in Black American music stylings. So the little that he think that he got from Jamaica, they got it from us. They was doing Mendo music before us. This is a Mendo box. Let me see. No, I can't find the where is that? I had an image. Here it is. Here we go. The Mendo box was something that they used for their bass. Let me show you. This was their bass. This is the instrument used for the bass in a lot of their native music in Jamaica. This was getting the bass sound out for them in their music before the 1960s and before the 1950s and 60s. After they heard our music, they picked up one of these, the real bass. They sat their box, that Mento box, they sat that down, said we no longer want to make music like this. And they picked up this. Be very clear. Before they were influenced by Black American, These were the island drums. This was their drum. They used this drum. And no disrespect to the Jamaicans. And they picked up this drum right here from Trinidad. The steel drum they got from Trinidad and Tobago. And they had their island drums. Ole, 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 eh. This was their drums. And then when they got tired of their own music, they sat their drums down and they picked up these drums. The Black American drums. They sat that shit down. Let me remove this. They sat their drums down and they picked up these. And this just happens to be my drum set. This is my drum set. That's why it's left. I'm a left-footed drummer. They sat their drum set down and they picked up these. This is what you call cultural dominance. This is cultural dominance. When you can get a group of people to sit down what they created and embrace what you created. So if Pete Rock want to talk culture, let's talk culture. So the Jamaican culture that Pete Rock, let's go into the sound systems. Name the sound system maker that was making sound systems in Jamaica in the 1960s. Can you name one place that was manufacturing speakers from Jamaica? Or were all your speakers imported from America? Real talk, Accolade 310. Why they put theirs down and picked up ours? Well, for the same reason why Pete Rock didn't sample his music. It's the same reason why Pete Rock didn't sample Jamaican cultural music. Because he didn't like it well enough to sample it. That's why. And the reason why he didn't like it well enough to sample it because it didn't fit. Their music and our music is on a different pattern. Different time. This is some Jamaican mento music before the Black American influence. That's mento music right there. This is their folk music. Jamaican rumba. This is what they were sounding like. Ooh, that's their music in the 60s and the 50s. when we were in that same time period, we were sounding like this.
Watch each hour go by.
Hey, love. This is what we were sounding like. Like us. This is how we closed out the 60s and into the early 70s with songs like this. I love that song Superwoman by Stevie Wonder. You know, those change. That song is 3 songs in one. When we got to the mid 70s, we were sounding like this. And that right there is the essence and the culture that hip hop comes from. Hip hop chat room. Answer this question, Minnie. Where does hip hop more likely come from? This is Jamaican culture. What does hip hop most likely come from? This or this? Let me set that back up. Here we go. Where does hip hop most likely come from? This or this?
When he grabs his guitar and starts to pluck, everybody wants to get up and dance.
Am I missing something? He said listen to the Commodores. Where does hip hop most likely come from? This or this? Let your ears tell the story. Allow your ears to tell you the story. Does hip hop come from this or this? Does it come from that? Does hip hop come from this? Or does it come from this? What's more likely? Huh? What's more likely? What is it this? Or I got some cash apps I gotta read. So if Pete Rock contends hip hop originated from Jamaica, how come he didn't sample Jamaican reggae music for a song? He let Troy, the Troy shit go to his head. Right. Samurai Cam says, appreciate the super chat. Samurai Cam says, I appreciate the knowledge. Appreciate you for receiving the knowledge, brother. Mogul May says, even the early reggae admitted they initially admitted that they got it from Black American music artists. Right. See, I've done similar shows like this in the past, but I gotta keep doing shows like this to remind everybody what it is. And if you're on Patreon, you getting all this. Claude Thornton, I appreciate the cash app. Williams, I appreciate the weekly cash apps, brother. I appreciate that, man. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Jamaica didn't even have the technology to record like this in the 80s, in the 70s. And it was a black man named Johnny Nash that got the Wailers their first contract. Do y'all know that? Do y'all know that? Do you want to know? Because it was black Americans and Asians investing in the Jamaican sound before Jamaicans. This is Johnny Nash right here. You all know who Johnny Nash is. You've heard this song right here. The black American that made a calypso style song, that when he made his money from that song Sunshine, I Can See Clearly, Sunshine Day, he took that money and he invested it in Jamaica. And he opened up recording studios in Jamaica. And he signed the Wailers and by extension Bob Marley to their first record deal. Do y'all know that? Will Pete Rock give you that information? First Class Citizen says African Ben Bottom is main tether responsible for perpetuating these lies along with Clown RS1. Right. It's gotten to the point to where it's laughable. So I do these episodes like this to put the battery in y'all back, because so many black Americans don't know the history because we don't study our history. So for those of you who want to know, I'm giving you where to go. And you got to go to my Patreon because I give you a lot of stuff free here on YouTube. And people who are on my Patreon, I appreciate y'all. Because I'm going to be honest with y'all. 95% of my content creation, 90% of it is going to be over here on YouTube. But there's certain things that I can't do on YouTube, certain things I can't say on YouTube. That's what my Patreon is for. But I also leave my Patreon up as a music university. It's a library. If you're on the music university tier, you get the most in-depth. But even if you're on the lower tiers, you still have a full-on music university because I do 2-hour-long music breakdowns, explaining the music, explaining producers, explaining the writers, explaining the arrangers, and the essence of music. That's all on my Patreon. We got hundreds of hours of me talking this stuff on a deeper level. But I also have thousands of hours teaching y'all here on YouTube for free. Very comprehensive information. Because we got to have information against liars like Pete Rock. I know he knows he's lying because you're listening to his interviews. That's that tether scamming culture that gets talked about. That y'all know me on this channel. I don't necessarily like talking about that kind of stuff. Do I? Ain't I one of the main ones that be telling y'all, like, look, man, let's deal with the black American part of it. We ain't got to deal with the tethers. Let's take responsibility for some stuff. I'm the first one to say something like that. I'll be the first to say stuff like that. And y'all know it. For those of you who are in my classes, I'll give you an example. I'm gonna shorten it. But if you're on my music university tier, this is the level we go to. I'm giving out full-on lesson plans. This is where we go on the music university tier right here. We break it down. And we give references for your further study. All of this we've given to me. This is, look, black people. This is why it's on us this is why we feel a certain way. We give 99 things. We built a whole house. We created the blueprint. We laid the foundation. We put up the frame, the windows, installed the electrical wiring. We installed the plumbing. We put on the drywall. We put on the roof. And you come into the house that we built and you paint a door. And because someone like a Pete Rock painted a door, mind you, it's 100 doors in this house. You painted one of them. You say that painted door that you painted is the root of this whole house. You ignore the architect. You ignore the engineers who put the caissons in the ground. You ignore the people who laid the foundation. You ignore those who put up the framing. You ignore the people who insulated the walls. You came to a house that was already constructed. Mind you, when it came to hip hop, everything in hip hop is a borrowed something. Hip hop gave us nothing new. So what does that mean? That means hip hop is a house that was already constructed. And the kid that didn't learn how to play music got handed a constructed house. So where all they had to do was rearrange the furniture to make the same amount of money. A matter of fact, make more money than the people who created the house. Hip hop, and this is 100% of you niggas. Y'all furniture rearranging ass niggas in hip hop. You didn't make a couch. You didn't make a window. You didn't make a TV to hang on the wall. Hell, you didn't make the studs to go in the wall to hang the TV on. You were given all this shit. And what do you do with it? You cornball ass FBA black nigga hip hop dudes let Pete Rock, Fat Joe, Cool Herc, KRS-One, and all these dusty tether ass niggas lie on your grandmama's house. You have no honor. None of y'all. None. Y'all are some dishonorable Negroes. I'm opening my phone line. Who want to challenge me on that? Call in 323-705-5150. Call in. Your grandmama and granddaddy left you with a house, and your selfish ass allowed these people to come up in the house who didn't bring nothing. These niggas didn't even bring a pizza. Who the fuck don't remember Fat Joe's music in 20, 30 years? Think about that. Who's going to remember who remembers Fat Joe's music now that's under 40 years old? If you weren't in the club with Leroy, if you weren't in the club during that time, if you're 25, 20 years old, you don't even know that shit. Fat Joe is just this eye-shaped nigga that be walking around talking a whole bunch of shit he don't know. If you under 25, think about it, y'all. Who want to challenge what I said? Call in if you want to challenge what I said. I made this post today. We're talking about Black Americans that need to be honored. Let's do our honoree of the day. Today we honor Leon Ndugu Chancellor. What's up, Carl? I'll get right to you when I'm done with this part. We honor today Leon Ndugu Chancellor. He was born in Shreveport but raised in Los Angeles, California. He played with the likes of George Duke, Michael Jackson. Matter of fact, this is him on the drums right here. On this song right here, this is Ndugu Chancellor.
We do that, I'm gonna take you to the bridge.
This is Ndugu. That's Leon. But his most iconic drum beat was this. Let me see here. I'm in the wrong. This is. Come on now. What the fuck is going on here? What the hell is going on? Let's play his iconic. Let me go to Spotify because iTunes is tripping. This is Ndugu Chancellor's most iconic drum beat right here. That level of precision and accuracy to create that much music while leaving this vast amount of space is something that a drum machine cannot, will not, never will, never has replaced. The life breath of Black American music and the basis and the foundation of Black American music, and by extension Jamaican music these days, because y'all sat y'all drums down, is the drum set. The drum set was invented right here in the United States of America, created, invented, and perfected, and used by the Black American and used in our music. And before you give credit to other cultures, you got to give credit to the people that laid the foundation for what you listen to and what you play right now. So before I give credit to Jamaican culture for anything when it comes to hip hop or Black American culture, you niggas need to find out who Leon Ndugu Chancellor is, Patrice Rushen, George Duke, Joe Sample, and all these great musicians that laid the foundation and recorded the music that hip hop is, and house music and dance music and pop music and neo souls has been sampling from the last 30 years. What's up, Carter? What's your name? Where you calling from? I guess they hung up. I guess they hung up. Cool Jerks once admitted that he was the founder, and then he started back lying. Yeah. You remember, silence is complicity. You're 100% right. They just paid Cool Herc to go up in the corner somewhere and be quiet. But rest in peace to Leon Ndugu Chancellor, one of the great drummers. The LA sound. Appreciate that, Clarice Dallas. Much appreciated. And this goes into another conversation that we're going to talk about tomorrow, where you're starting to see a lot of these rappers that are now in the podcast game. They're trying to come in. Joe Budden was talking about gatekeeping podcasts. You rap niggas better not gatekeep shit on this podcast game. These rappers have come into music and totally shitted on music, crapped on music, extracted all the wealth from music while leaving nothing back and taking all the credit and then said, hey, let's give it to this Jamaican guy who himself says James Brown is the progenitor of the culture. Crazy part about it is I was planning on playing like a much longer portion of this interview, but I got so goddamn ticked off, I said everything I wanted to say before you play the rest of the interview. What's up, Carter? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Dwan, King Simon, what's up?
King Simon, what's up, brother? What's on your mind, brother?
Man, I let the family know that my family is from Jamaica, but I know personally that certain producers used to come back and forth to get music and then bring it to Jamaica. And that's where they started learning this stuff. So I wish a lot of these rappers would start studying more how all this came about, because it's not that Jamaica contributed, not the foundation of hip hop at all. I know that personally. I know it since I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
I know it since I was a child because my father was a DJ who brought music and brought music back, and they used one of the first studio DJs out of Jamaica used to come to America, take it back to Jamaica. They would mix it in their own way and do their own thing, and then the toasting. We used to listen to Antilles Radio, which was stemmed across the Antilles, which is like the Americas, which is the Caribbean, which is the Americas.
Yeah,
that's another part of the Americas. People don't even know the geographical history of that. And we used to listen to that AM station and listen to those sounds over these Caribbean islands. So I don't know. I don't know where Cool Herc. Even Cool Herc said it back in the day that he just brought the sound system out and did his thing. That's all he said. I mean, I remember this. I know Cool. He's from St. Andrew. I know who he is. I met him a few times. Talked to him a few times. But again, my family was also into the music, and even back in the house parties in Jamaica. I remember going to Jamaica. I'm born here in America. I'm born in Brooklyn Jewish, Crown Heights. But I remember going to Jamaica, visiting and seeing the Fantastic Four, the Michael Jackson music, going back to Sam Cooke, seeing their albums. I remember all of this because I used to play music myself. So I wish people would just do the research. And I know they might come after me, but I don't give a damn because I know you can go on Wikipedia and it says it.
Yeah.
and
brother King Simon, I appreciate you for calling in because I'm glad you called in because I always try to make it clear. You know me, I'm always the first one to be like to hold people to tell people to hold their horses when it comes to trying to blame everything on a quote unquote tether or this or that. Let's be more well rounded in our point of view. And that's why I pointed out Jadakiss and these other black Americans that are on there, because these people they're just as stupid. You know? And the reason why I call them stupid, not because overall as a stupid person, but going into a field and not understanding the history of the field that you're in. I don't care if you're a bus driver or a plumber. Learn where the whole thing comes from so you can...
Dwan, let me tell you something, Dwan. I went to a white man's store. He knows more about reggae and ska than I did. And my cousin is one of the founding members of the Scatolites.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. Dizzy Moore is one of my cousin, my
Oh
mother's
yeah,
first cousin.
that's family.
That's him. He's the one that plays trumpets. But he's the one that played the trumpet for Don Penn and a whole bunch of people.
Wow.
So that's my cousin. He died. Of course, he died, some years ago. But that's my cousin. And then I talked to his brother. His brother was breaking it down again. I come from this family. My cousin on my mother's side on my father's side is Grace Jones. I come from this family of Jamaicans that came and migrated here from late 30s, 40s.
Mm-hmm.
I already know a lot of the history. I'm born in '67, but again, family, Black American Foundation, Black American, whatever you want to call it, claim and hold on to your roots.
Mm-hmm.
It's yours, no doubt. I will never take that. I never did when I was younger. I will never do it today. And I respect. I watch you all the time, Dwan. You know me. I pop up every.
And likewise.
I look out for you, man. I talk about health and all that with you. You know how we
You
go down,
always
man.
hit me up on some real stuff. So in the back channels. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. All right. So, family, love y'all, man. This is, again, I tell baby, all of the Americans, this Western Hemisphere is the Americans, but we got to show foundational Black Americans, the greater part of America, respect.
Respect.
Can't be a coon in Jamaican or a coon in Trinidad and a coon in, you can't coon. I can't take the coon. That's why I never got into politics. Dwan,
Yeah.
I don't even vote. I never voted in my life, ever.
Yeah.
Because I don't trust the policies of white America is promoted on not just Black Americans, but everybody that come into this country. You know what I'm saying? So, and they did a big. Let me tell you, honest the truth, and I'll land my mothership here. They did a big promotion into the Caribbean to get people to come to America back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to my mother, who's 86 years old. She first of all, she couldn't find a job. She went to Canada. Couldn't find a job in Canada. Went to America, and that's where she landed at to feed her family and feed the family down there that couldn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's just like people migrating to the south to go to the north.
Mm-hmm. I
understand. So we got so much more in common, but I understand the reparation thing. It's so important that y'all get, because like I told Sister Keisha and Brother Tad, I said, yo, if America gets a reparation, then every domino will fall in place. The CARICOM will get it. This person, everybody will get it.
Yep.
If America get it, I'm telling, I see the vision. I see it way. I'm Aquarius, so I'm way before. But I love you, man, and tell your wife I send my greetings, brother.
That's right. Much love to you, King Simon. Yes, sir.
Peace and love.
Y'all need to hit up King Simon, man. I read cards, but his readings on the numbers, the best reading I ever got is King Simon and his numbers, numerology, man. That and get his book, Numbers Are Simple. I should have it around here somewhere. No, his book is in my other. Usually, I got King Simon's book near me because I reference it sometimes when I need pull some numbers. No, it's in my library. It's not in this room. I will put it up. But yeah, that's what it's about. Because there's always a why as to why we do this. Let's answer the why. The why are you going to do this? The why. There's always a why. If you should always ask and understand why people do people's motives. And I tell you guys my motives. I'm a king of clubs. I gotta be honest. I can't fake the fuck. My motives come from, and I've said this before. I started working as a child tutor at the age of 14, 1995, King Drew Medical Center in Watts, California. Started coaching basketball. I started teaching how to play the drums. I became a drum instructor 2000 through 2025. I've always taught. I became a basketball coach 2008 to 2014. I coached basketball on the side. I worked for the Department of Mental Health for 15 years. And I understood one thing when all my years working with children and behavior and grades, when a group of people, when individuals had self-esteem, meaning the confidence and the knowing that to trust themselves, and group esteem, pride in your group, it changed not only behaviors in class, it changed over. I'll get right to you, caller. It changed behaviors in class It improved performance, it improved grades, and it improved how children socialize. When I would get pods of kids in these non-public schools, and I wouldn't argue with them over. We spend some time talking about the day's conflict, of course, but the majority of when I would work with these kids, it was teaching knowledge of them as an individual and knowledge of them as a group and their responsibility to the group based off the group's contributions and how you contribute to a group. And I saw with my own eyes a change in behavior when you get children to codify and raise a level of esteem. One thing America has done that's done a great job to not just America, around the world, geopolitically, when it comes to black people, our contributions to this earth have been wiped off the face of the planet. It's not in no books. They don't talk about nothing in the schools, at least. The schools don't talk about a room full of black kids, school full of black kids with no knowledge of self outside of Martin Luther King, Michael Jordan, and Jay-Z. That's all the hell they knew about black people. Oh, yeah, and we were slaves. The minute we got to show and prove to these babies that they were more than slaves, that they had not only some contributions to Earth, but significant contributions, it changes behavior. So when I get people from outside this culture, outside this country, that's coming in and they're trying to chip off something my people created, something that I can use to raise the esteem of youth, and you take it for your selfish, nefarious means, you are an enemy of the people because you're taking from people something that isn't yours and is dishonorable. What's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, sucker?
Who this?
Hey, it's your worst nightmare, dog. Don't act like you don't recognize his voice. I see you trembling.
Larry, what the fuck number you calling from?
Hey, I told you, Jerry Sloan, I'm calling you from a work phone.
Man, Cass, I'll beat your ass. Don't fuck around with me, or I'm gonna have you running like Razzcast. Well, Razzcast didn't run.
No.
Yeah, that was bad. 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 But I'll still beat your ass, so it don't matter, nigga.
Nah, I don't think so, dog. Hey, man, shout out to King Simon. Whatever he was dropping bombs, boy.
And you look like you drop bombs. You half Al Qaeda, half nigga looking ass nigga. But go ahead.
No. Hey, man, dog. Why all these goddamn good artists got to be fucking Tethers and Coons and shit, dog? I fuck with Pete Rock and dog. Why can't it be like the sorry artists who talk that bullshit? Then I would have a problem.
Well, Fat Joe sorry.
Not listening to their music. Well, he got like 2 songs I like, but it's a bunch.
When was the last time you said? When was the last time you heard one of those songs voluntarily? I mean, not out there where you put up in your phone and said, "I'm gonna hit play on this Fat Joe song." When was the last time you did that?
About a week ago, I listened to John Blaze, but it has Nas's on it.
Oh, you listening to Nas? But go ahead.
Yeah. You know what? Good point. Jadakiss is on the song too.
Yeah,
so.
You listen to real niggas. Yeah. Well, one real nigga.
Yeah.
One. I don't know if he a real nigga not anymore, but go ahead.
I just wish all the sorry artists were doing this shit, dog, so I wouldn't have a problem with it. But goddamn, Pete Rock, all this knowledge, all this fucking information you got in your phone, dog, and this is what y'all do. Like, goddamn, dog. I wish we'd gatekeep our shit more, dog. I really wish that we would, like, give somebody a fucking test. You have to pass this test to be a hip-hop artist. It has to be a written test on music history. And if you pass it, you get to put out an album. And if not, you got to study for 3 more years before you put out an album, dog. We need to gatekeep our culture, do something. Start whooping these niggas or something, dog. This shit is upsetting.
Hey, something.
Like, this shit is upsetting, dog.
You said to start whooping these niggas. Well, we know that you're not gonna be on the whooping these niggas part because you a Jack.
Nigga, I'll whoop you, nigga.
You
can't. I'll whoop you. How about that?
You can't fight. If you can fight, let's fight tonight. I'll dust your ass off like a mite.
Well, I got enough bread. I'll catch a flight. How about that?
Oh man, I'll jump up high, hide in the kite.
Okay, man.
I'll beat your ass and you gonna see the light.
No. Hey, did you point?
I pointed, bitch. I did the Willie Green point, nigga.
Oh, okay, all right. Damn, I can't see it. I'm glad I can't see it. Fuck you. I just want to interrupt all this knowledge, dog. All this good shit with some bullshit, dog. I'm gonna let you get back to your broadcast. Y'all keep supporting this piece of shit, dog. Buy his merch, and do all that shit, dog. And Dewan, I'll kick your ass, boy.
Boy, nigga, you'll end up like Anton Daniels, nigga. You keep fucking with me. Fuck you, nigga. I can't stand that jive ass nigga Larry. Yeah, respect to King Simon. I appreciate that super chat. I appreciate respect to King Simon. This is why I don't make blanket statements about their immigrants and their tethers. It's two different kind of people. Call you like an hour behind cool workers outline certain documents. They're like Tariq and others. And yeah, people like cool DJ Faze. Salute DJ Faze. He said made it clear hurt travel to watch him learn from the Southwest Bronx to the Southeast Bronx. He learned from FBA transplant and did so King Mario. Throwing parties at Rosedale Park, right? Official name Walter Gleason Playground. Appreciate that, the super chats. But that's just about. That's why I give y'all information, man. I'm not here to see what's up, Brandy. Nah, don't be saying y'all like Larry. Fuck that nigga. Nah. Put it like this: for everybody that say they like Larry, that's gonna be one more punch to the jaw. Get that nigga when I see him. So if y'all say that 100 times, that nigga got 100 fades coming, nigga. But this is what it is. It's like what I do. I'm different, man. I'm born out of something different. I don't do this for the views, for the clout. I do it because the information got to get out. That rhymed. That's why I do this. The information got to get out. And we need everybody stepping up and speaking. What's up, Carl? What's the name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Dwan. This is Brooke from Brooklyn.
Brooke from Brooklyn. What's
By
on
way
your
of
mind?
Queens. I just wanted to, first of all, give you like amazing flowers for this broadcast today. You did an amazing job. I hope you clip this up because I really want certain things to. I want to spam Pete Rock with these clips. But I also wanted to shout out King Simon. I also know King Simon personally, and I know my big sis and my big brother Tad and Keisha is the one who he's talking about. And so when King Simon sees my testimonies at the hearings, he is always in 100% full support. And I really appreciate him and for his support in what I'm doing, because even when I called out that Jamaican lady at the hearing who was trying to crowbar her way into our reparations, he was able to see beyond the fact that I was talking about her specifically and not Jamaicans as a whole, you know. And so I just respect, you know, the dialogue that you two just had, because, you know, here in New York we do have Caribbeans that we're close to like family, and King Simon is definitely one of them.
That's dope to hear. Yeah, because King Simon's the real deal. It's like, but King Simon's also somebody who has confidence within himself, and with him talking about.
Absolutely.
And even though I say what I said about Jamaican music history has its own history that is very significant, and especially with these contributions to music from the islands. And it's something that
Right.
is something that deserves the respect of being studied on its own. And when you study it on its
Absolutely.
own, you're going to find a different outcome than hip hop. Like, if you try to study Jamaican music through hip hop, I'm thinking about researchers 100 years from now when we're on all this music is dead and we on to something new. You know, if a music researcher 100 years from now said, they listen to Pete Rock say, okay, hip hop is Jamaican culture, and then what they're going to do is they're going to go through that and they're going to find a whole bunch of roads that either lead to nowhere or lead back to Motown. You know, if they do their research properly. So it's like, let's just tell the story correctly. So in 100 years from now, people who want to know, musicians who want to know, they can go directly to the source. Because Pete Rock is basically cleaning up the traces. All of his music comes from an era, and if he says it's Jamaican, if somebody 100 years from now does research and they going into Jamaican music, they won't find any traces of Pete Rock. You know what I mean? So he's
absolutely
basically doing what a lot of hip hop dudes do, not just foreign, but Black American too, and that's hide where they got it from, especially the DJs. DJs putting labels over their shit so the next artist can't see. That's a bunch of jive
Cool Herc
crap.
talked about that.
You know what I mean? Straight
And
insecurity.
to be honest, if you look at Jamaican music right now, like their I think I don't know what they call it, but it's called like a trap form of reggae. They've
That
moved
trap
away
reggae,
from
yeah.
dancehall. And so the DJs and everything are saying how it's not doing well. It's not taking because they are moving away from their essence. You know what I'm saying? And trying to be something that they're not. And so it's not taking throughout the rest of the world the way dance hall used to take. And they're saying that when they are going and touring and going nationwide, that people don't even want to hear the new music. They want to hear the old music.
Yep.
And so, that's what happens when you start focusing and trying to be something that you're not.
Right. Right.
So
Exactly.
tell everybody to make sure that they delineate and send those emails to BIT, or go to the link to send the emails at bit.ly/Bruck call to actions, which is BREUCK call to actions, bit.ly/BREUCK call to action. That way that we can delineate and make sure that we have our own category in this country and in New York State specifically.
Make sure y'all follow that right now. If you didn't hear it, hit the rewind button on the 10-second mark. Hit it twice and you'll hear it. All right? Thanks.
I put it in the chat as
Yeah, put
well,
it in the chat.
and you're sending emails to our legislators. They're pre-written, so you don't have to worry about what to say and how to say it. You don't have to be from New York to send emails. You can be from anywhere. You don't have to be foundational Black American. I hope King Simon has sent those emails as well.
Yeah, send them.
All right, thank you so much, Dewan, for letting me do that last part at the end.
All right, you have a good one.
You too. Bye bye.
She said, "What the fuck is trap reggae?" Yeah, they got trap reggae. They got trap country, UK trap. All that. But that's why I'm loving the new era, man. The new era is going back into our native music. And here in America, here in the West Coast, here in LA, jazz. This is the Don Brown Collective. That's Don Brown on drums, part of the Don Brown Collective at Blue Note. It was the other video I wanted to play you. Still sounding good with our music, man. This is the LA sound. That's the Don Brown Collective, and then that was Buddy. Buddy's on lead. Buddy was rapping and singing. Man, I'm so encouraged by Gen Z and the younger millennials. I'm so encouraged by Gen Z and the music decisions Gen Z is making. Gen Z is making some pretty good music decisions, and I want to acknowledge that. What's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from?
Ishmael calling from Boston.
Ishmael from Boston. What's on your mind?
Well, I just wanted to thank you for your broadcast today, man, because I tried to look at that podcast and I couldn't make it past Fat Joe for too long.
He talked too much.
So I'm glad that you filled me in because I could not, and I usually can't make it longer than like 10 minutes with him. It's just way too much for me. But I wanted to ask you if you thought, and I didn't see the whole broadcast, I just tuned in, but I wanted to ask you if you thought it was similar to maybe Andre 3000 in the 2000s when they tried to get him to speak politically, but he was too afraid to because maybe he was nervous that he would alienate some of his fan base, sort of like the Michael Jordan thing.
Well, of course they're going to try it, but at some point, cats got to just have courage. Like there was Max Roach was speaking out for black people in the '60s, man. Billie Holiday spoke up for black. Billie Holiday got her cabaret performance license taken in 1938 for Strange Fruits for speaking up against black people
Right.
getting lynched. At some point, you gotta grow beyond. And I'm saying everybody's gonna do it, but asking for three prominent rappers out of the dozens and dozens and dozens of prominent rappers that Black Americans produce, if we can't get three, that's just weak. I mean,
I know
dude.
Slick Rick is honest about where
Yeah,
he
Slick
got
Rick's
it from.
definitely honest. Yeah.
But also I was also thinking too that I can't dismiss a little bit of self-hate a little bit, maybe on the behalf of Jada, and I really like Jada too, but I don't want to assign anything to him that came from someone that he's affiliated with, but I remember seeing an interview with Styles P, and he was asked where he got his drive or his work ethics from. And the first thing he mentioned was that his mother was from Africa and that he got his drive and from her because they're hardworking people in Africa, and it kind of just made me scratch my head like, okay, well, where's your father from, and what was your his contribution in your opinion of him, because he didn't mention him. And then and to me, I don't know if you listen to Nori at all, his podcast, but I know he's half Puerto Rican, and it just seems like he goes out of his way to take
Him
shots.
and that Rosenberg, was it Effin, the DJ Effin, whatever his name is. It's like these niggas have had George Clinton on. George Clinton laid the whole foundation and story down, but they'll still let somebody come on their podcast and they'll be like, "Ooh, that person's Caribbean. Oh, look at all the stuff they did." It'd be like I watch Drink Champ sometimes, and somebody be like, "Yeah, you heard that cowbell over there? Yeah, there was a Caribbean dude named Jubu that played that cowbell." And then Effin and Nori be like, see, yeah, they ringing bells. Yeah, the islands, yeah.
And they go out their way to embrace that other side for some reason, and they don't have no problems just dismissing or just taking us for granted, really. Like we can just get dissed all day, and it's fine because they know we'll forgive and forget. But
exactly.
that day is starting to come to an end.
Real talk. That's real talk, dog, man. Thanks for giving us a call.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, oh, yes, I done figured out how to mute incoming calls while I'm on the line. So no more hearing that damn phone ring when I'm talking to somebody. I done figured it out. But yeah, there is definitely forces at play to keep these artists from saying something. But at some point, are you a man or are you a mouse? What's up, Carl? What's the name? Where you calling from?
Hey, it's Dana from Pasadena.
How you doing today, Dana?
Good. Are you all right?
I'm good. What's going on?
It sounded like you were about to say something else. That's why I asked.
No. I had just gotten this email out of nowhere. I'm like, what the hell they emailing me? I'm on stage tomorrow night doing a comedy show at the church. So I just got an email. I was just hoping that they weren't canceling the show. But go ahead.
No. Okay. I just want to, commend you and thank you for staying on the head of these tethers and these Black Americans that, don't want us to rise up. They don't want us to delineate. They don't want us to say who we are and have our own autonomy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, would it have hurt Jadakiss to be like, well, let me talk about the African Americans? You know,
You know what
it's
that?
so crazy to me that people come over here, they want to be here to suck up all the resources that are here, but want to big up where they're from. And we don't mind that, but just, you know, recognize our contribution or the contribution that you sucking the life out of.
You know what that will require? That will require rappers that care enough to even find out what it is. And unfortunately, what I find from a lot of these rappers, they don't give a damn about none of that history stuff. And I'm gonna get right into that. But then thanks for that. I'm not going into greater detail on that. Thanks.
Can I do a little shout out before I go?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Shout out to Brooke. And it's the brandy you always talk about that's in the chat. The brandy came from Lamert.
Yeah, that's a Brady Kane.
Oh, okay. All right. And shout out to Brandy for staying on Sade El Harari's head at the MLK parade.
Brandy
She's
be on their
a
head,
new
don't
member.
she?
Yeah, she's a new member of the Congressional Legislative Black Caucus. And I also want to say Black Civics is back. And can I drop the flyer in the chat?
Yes, please drop the flyer, please.
Thank you.
All right, Dana.
All right.
All right. But yeah, that's Dana Dorsey, California reparationist. That was Brooke calling it earlier. She's a reparationist out of New York. These are grassroots, and Brandy Kane in the chat. These are grassroots people pushing for Black American reparations on the ground. So please, 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 please acknowledge them. And if y'all put y'all cash apps in the chat, you know, y'all want to donate to anything that they got going on because they use their own hard-earned time and money to be out there fighting for us. So make sure y'all support them, okay? But Dana said something and I forgot what she just said that I wanted to speak on. Chat room, help me out, chat. What did I say that I wanted to speak on that she said? It was something. It was a point that Dana made that I said I want to speak on that. Chat room, can you help me and remind me? This is Brooke right here. Make sure y'all support her. But make sure y'all chat room. Can you? What was that I was about to say about? Was it about Nori? Oh, that's what I was gonna say. These hip hop, you gotta understand. Hip hop, all black music comes from the streets. All of it. Jazz, blues. Oh, Javi, no, I did not see the Red Man clip that you sent me. I'm glad you reminded me. But all black music comes from the streets, except for probably funk. Funk is more of a middle class black American sound. Funk music. It's not necessary, but it depending on what part of the country you're in. But in his Ohio, Black American regions, South Black American and West Coast regions, funk is for the most part middle class. But outside of funk and a few other things, most of it all comes from the streets. And a lot of great funk musicians are street. The difference with hip hop is the hustler used to fund the talent. Music has always been connected to the streets. Frank Sinatra is street. Frank Sinatra is more ghetto and more. He probably got more bodies than any rapper outside of drill. Frank Sinatra was a real street thug, street dude back in the day. What happened is the talented among them, they went in and sang. And the people who stayed on the streets, they gave money up. The street dudes paid money to the talent. When hip hop, especially of the 2000s, got there, that's when the street dude went from putting the money up to wanting to be the rapper and tell their own stories. The only street dudes who did music before rap were street dudes who didn't make music about the streets. Barry White was a street dude. But Barry White didn't make run motherfucker come here, I'll beat your ass, blah, 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 blah. Barry White didn't mention the streets. Barry White played music like this from the streets. This is music from the streets. Barry White used to carry a gun in the studio, and he'd pull that motherfucker on you too if you weren't doing your music right. This connection to the streets, that music, that hip hop has gone through, hip hop is made to where the streets became the representative of the music and not the funder of the music. And now all these minimally talented ass niggas who ain't got no business even being in music because you can't sing, can't play an instrument, and you really can't rap. If you're going to compare rapping to how people rapped in the 80s and the 90s, a Shock G, a Busy Bone, that's rapping. Y'all ain't even doing that. Look at Rick Ross. Rick Ross says 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3. That's you're not even. These are nursery rhymes that we could all repeat. 50 Cent. That ain't rapping. That's rhythm. It's rhythmic poetry at best. Anybody can do it. What Snoop was doing with Doggy Style, Quick, what Cool Mo D and them cats was rapping. These cats today just doing, or of the last 20 years, these is nursery rhyme artists. Think of Fat Joe. Is there a Fat Joe line that you can't do yourself? I'm gonna play this video that Javi sent me. Appreciate that, because I wanted this to be part of today's show. I'm glad I saw your comment. This is a Redman interview from 92.
So Redman, a lot of rappers now are trying to sport dreads or shaving their heads, but you decided to keep your afro. Why is that?
Because that's where the funk it's from the afro, man. I never lose my fro. And if I do cut it, I'll just be cutting it down. I'll probably fading it on the sides, but I ain't going that way. I'll probably twist my hair up sometimes, but I'm always have my fro, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, the dreads and the bald heads is cool, but you know what I'm saying? The fro is from back in the days, the funk, the George Clinton and all that.
So why do you decide to only sample funk on your records?
Because that's the only one I really want to deal with, you know what I'm saying? They figure funk is only for R&B. Yo, check it, yo, that's so funny. That's so funny. Nah,
What's
I
up?
do that on TV, yo.
You know him?
You know him? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yo, like I said, like everybody use funk as the R&B, you know what I'm saying? And they don't really press it too much in hip hop, you know what I'm saying? But I do.
So, Redman, do you feel the blacks in your community are still mad at the racial situation?
Yeah, they are. You know what I'm saying?
So you heard Redman from 92. That's a Redman interview in 92. Talking about funk. All we need now, we need 3 prominent rappers to directly address Fat Joe, directly address Pete Rock, directly address Cray RS1, directly address Grandmaster Flash, directly address these people lying on your history. You hip hop niggas have been given so much. Your grandparents and your parents left you with a life insurance plan that's gotten a lot of you people very, very, very rich. And all you've done was allow people to come into the house that they created and pillage it. You dishonorable fucks. I'm just as, Fat Joe, Pete Rock, Frenchman, they gonna keep talking like this as long as these dishonorable ass niggas are the voice of hip hop. But y'all heard Pete Rock in that interview I played with y'all with Pete Rock. That was from like 6 months ago. It wasn't an old interview. Pete Rock's tweet was yesterday. That interview where he talked about his influences was 6 months ago. But we don't depend on the rappers. The rappers are cake ass niggas for the most part. So we can't depend on these niggas. The rappers are worried about, like I said, Cube's the only one I be seeing with the strength to say stuff. But Cube don't ever get no backing when he does. That's probably why the rest of them niggas don't say nothing. Because when Cube steps up and say something, everybody else kind of be like, well, now. Y'all, the rest of them niggas go back to picking cotton. Well, now, we'll see. I guess he said it. I guess it's right. Ain't none of you niggas listen to a Jamaican motherfucking thing. Niggas been listening to Johnny Guitar Watson. You grew up with your mama and dad listening to Johnny Guitar Watson, and you let some nigga turn around and talk about something that's not where you got your own music culture from. Fuck out of here. All right. Thank y'all again for listening. I got who knows? I might do a late night live tonight. We might do a late night live wrap up show tonight. To wrap up on what we talking about today. I think we're gonna do a late night wrap up tonight because I ain't got nowhere to go. I ain't got nowhere to go tonight. I just gotta fix. I just gotta write on my book. When I'm done writing this book, I'm finished writing the book. I'm editing right now. When I'm done my editing of this book, we about to put all this shit straight. Here, this last super chat says all those tethers that were aforementioned are parasites to our creation and culture, and all the niggas that let them do it are enablers. We got. I'll take this last call. We got to start looking at the black Americans around these tethers as enablers. We got to have every bit as much smoke for these enablers as we do them. Black Americans that enable this stuff, they shouldn't be comfortable either. What's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from?
What's up, man? This T5, man. I'm calling from Oceanside, man.
Oceanside. What's on your mind, brother?
Man, hey, man, this is some coward shit, bro. You heard me? I always, that's what made me stop listening to rap, man. Like, back in the day, because I just noticed something, man. I just noticed that these niggas would never, ever say nothing about the culture, about us, never say nothing about R&B. These folks can't even make music on their own, man. If they want to come take something from us, then you're going to have to make a Puerto Rican hip hop, because y'all niggas was using maracas and shit in the 50s. You already done broke this shit down.
That nigga said
About,
maracas.
these niggas was shaking, shaking, shaking. You heard me? I don't know how to do all this shit in the thing, but man, y'all can't come for us. This is why we need to delineate, man. This is exactly why we need to delineate. And I hope they keep on out in themselves. And I'm starting to think Jadakiss a tether, bro. We need to do a category for these fake ass black Americans,
He's
bro.
not remember, he's not a tether, he's a tether enabler.
Yeah, man. And I mean, like you said, three of you niggas can't open y'all mouth and say nothing. It's disgusting, man. It's disgusting, bro. I just would like to know what Tupac would be doing if he seen this shit, bro.
He probably beat all these niggas' asses.
Man, and I'll be helping them, man. I'll be taking boy. I'll be helping them, bro. I mean, it's sad, man. This is a sad, not like a nigga running around sad melancholy, but I'm glad they out in themselves, and I'm glad we delineating, and I'm gonna land my DC4, bro, for real.
Yes, sir, man. You have a good one.
You talk also, bro. Peace.
Yeah, it is sad because it's like you got all these so-called men around here that are afraid to be men. No, where are the men of the culture? That's my question. Okay, you got money, you got hoes, you got the cars, you got the lifestyle, you got notoriety, you got all that. Where are the men of that are the vanguards and protectors of a culture? Because this has real life consequences on our youth, and not just our youth. This has real life consequences of how Black Americans are perceived around the world and within this country. Everybody know Black Americans created, and they every time they say something, they look out the corner of their eye to be like, "Are they gonna say something? Oh, these niggas ain't gonna say nothing. Let me say it again." And they get bolder and bolder and bolder and bolder because they know rap is full of a bunch of hoe ass niggas that want to get on. Well, I'm gonna tell you like my man Freeze Love told me, nigga, the only thing you can get on is a dick. And all you niggas is still already on and afraid to say something so you can get on. You just a dick hopping ass nigga. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Ty down in Florida, man.
Ty in
Hey,
Florida. What's on your mind?
I never got to hear you finish the story of how the government destroyed R&B. Maybe that's why they getting, they brought up all the radio stations and basically put all these tethers out there to try to replace us.
Oh, that.
What do you think about
I
that?
got that full. I got a 5-part series on Patreon.
Okay.
Over 5 hours of information on how the government stole our music. Very in depth.
Okay.
But
could you brief something though? Could you give us a little brief?
In a nutshell, they basically play big bank, take little bank with the smaller black owned record labels. Got bought up by the bigger giants like Stax got bought out by Atlantic. Motown distribution went to RCA. The big houses started either ended the companies or they took control of the distribution. And once they took control of the distribution, they can control what came out. They can control.
So they were afraid of our power. They were afraid that we were going to blow up and take over.
You ask me. Let me finish.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
They took our they strangled the means of distribution. They took over that, and then what they did was they got Black American radio owners that had Black American radio. They convinced these stupid niggas to whiten up their sound, get rid of the personality jocks like Frankie Crocker and Jocko Henderson, who used to bring personality to the radio. Get rid of them and go more towards a straight ahead white zombie sound. Those same black DJs started playing a lot of Michael McDonald, a lot of Steely Dan, that Blue Eyed Soul era of what they call yacht rock, Bobby Caldwell, and those white artists that tried to sound black. And they started the black artists that they played, Jeffrey Osborne, Peebo Bryson, were more sounding like yacht rock artists. And the black radio stations didn't play Don Blackman, stopped playing George Clinton, stopped playing the funkier music that we had. And that's where we assisted in this. And then the 1996 Telecommunications Act basically wiped out to where it took national corporate ownership of all radio and also of record labels. And so through them getting the means of distribution, the labels, and the radio, that's when they got to decide who made it through and who didn't, in a nutshell. But it goes way deeper than that. Get on Patreon to find out.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate the knowledge, brother.
Yes, sir, man. You have a
Long
good one, brother.
Listener. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. But I got over 5 hours of details of that on Patreon. All right. But I will. Well, I don't have. I was gonna show y'all a book, but I don't have that book up here with me. It's in my other library. It's not here. Damn. But salute to the jazz cats, because the jazz cats like Robert Glasper, Kamasi, Washington, they still holding it down for the culture. And you got a new young crop of jazz musicians like Vertus Miller on the piano. That little young dude's a prodigy, man. Don Brown on drums. You got Justin Tyson on drums. You got Keon Harold on trumpet. You got a whole nother class, and the jazz guys have been holding it down for the culture. Christian Scott, he's gonna be at and Adrian Young also. He's going to be at Jazz is Dead next Wednesday. Christian Scott. I might go to that. At the Lodge Room. We'll see. But y'all got it. Yeah, I'm giving you guys information. I'm giving you guys information, and take from the information whatever you take. But please understand that P Rock has been a Decepticon, so is Fat Joe, and all these other people, and all the Negro enablers around them. They just as bad. Ignorance is not an excuse. You profit off a culture, learn it. God damn it! All right. Y'all have a good one. We'll probably do a late night live tonight. All right. Y'all have a good one. We out.